Planting the seeds for mastery. All of us are born unique. This uniqueness is marked genetically in our DNA. We are a one-time phenomenon in the universe. Our exact genetic makeup has never occurred before, nor will it ever be repeated. For all of us, this uniqueness first expresses itself in childhood through certain primal inclinations. They are forces within us that come from a deeper place than conscious words can express. They draw us to certain experiences and away from others. As these forces move us here or there, they influence the development of our minds in very particular ways. Let us state it in the following way: at your birth a seed is planted. That seed is your uniqueness. It wants to grow, transform itself, and flower to its full potential. It has a natural, assertive energy to it. Your life's task is to bring that seed to flower, to express your uniqueness through your work. You have a destiny to fulfill. The stronger you feel and maintain it, as a force, a voice, or in whatever form, the greater your chance for fulfilling this life's task and achieving mastery. The month of January is all about discovering and developing your life's task, your purpose, what you were put here to do. I had known from a very young age, perhaps the age of 8, that I wanted to become a writer. I had a tremendous love of books and of words. I thought at first, when I was young, that I would be a novelist, but after graduating university, I had to make a living, and I realized being a novelist was too impractical. And so, living in New York, I drifted into journalism as a way to at least make a living. Then one day, after several years of working as a writer and editor, I was having lunch with a man who had just edited an article one had written for a magazine. After downing his third martini, he finally admitted to me why he had asked me to lunch. "You should seriously consider a different career," he told me. "You are not writer material. Your work is too undisciplined. Your style is too bizarre. Your ideas, they're just not relatable to the average reader. Go to law school, Robert. Go to business school. Spare yourself the pain." At first, these words were like a punch in the stomach. But in the months to come, I realized something about myself. I'd entered a career that didn't suit me, and my work reflected this incompatibility. I had to get out of journalism. This realization initiated a period of wandering in my life. I traveled all across Europe. I worked every conceivable job. I did construction work in Greece, taught English in Barcelona, worked as a hotel receptionist in Paris and a tour guide in Dublin, served as a trainee for an English company making television documentaries. I tried writing novels and plays. I wandered back to Los Angeles, California, where I was born and raised. I worked in a detective agency, among other odd jobs. I entered the film business working as an assistant to a director, as a researcher, story developer, and screenwriter. In these long years of wandering, I had totaled some 60 different jobs. By the year 1995, my parents, God bless them, were beginning to get seriously worried about their son. I was 36 years old, and I seemed lost and unable to settle into anything. I too had moments of great doubt and even depression, but I did not really feel lost. Something inside kept pushing and guiding me. I was searching and exploring, I was hungry for experiences, and I was continuously writing. That same year, while in Italy for yet another job, I met a man there named Joost Elfers, a packager and producer of books. One day while we were walking along the quay of Venice, Joost asked me if I had any ideas for a book. Suddenly, seemingly out of nowhere, an idea just gushed out of me. I told Joost that I was constantly reading books on history and the stories that I read of Julius Caesar and the Borgias and Louis XIV. These were the exact same stories that I had personally witnessed with my own eyes in all my different jobs, only less bloody. People want power and they want to disguise this wanting of power. And so, they play games. They covertly manipulate and intrigue, all the while presenting a nice even saintly front. I would expose these games. As I was improvising this pitch to him, which would eventually become my first book, The 48 Laws of Power, I felt something click inside me. I felt this tremendous sense of excitement welling up. It felt natural. It felt like destiny. When I saw that he was excited, I became even more excited. He said that he loved the idea and that he would pay me to live while I wrote half the book and then he would try to sell it to a publisher, himself being the packager, designer, and producer of it. When I returned home to Los Angeles and began working on the 48 Laws, I knew that this was my one chance in life, my one avenue of escaping all the years of wandering. So, I went all in. I put every single ounce of energy I had into it, because either I would make this book a success, or I would end up a failure in life. And I poured into this book all the lessons I had learned, all my training as a writer, all the discipline I'd gained from journalism, all the good and bad experiences I had accumulated in my 60 different jobs, all the horrible bosses that I had dealt with. And my pent-up excitement in writing the book could be felt by the reader and, much to my surprise, and beyond anything I'd imagined, the book had tremendous success. Now looking back on all this some 25 years later, I realized that that thing that was pushing and guiding me, that I mentioned earlier, was a sense of purpose, a sense of destiny. It was like this voice inside of me whispering, "Don't give up. Keep trying, keep trying." This voice, which had first appeared to me as a child, was guiding me toward my life's task. It took many years, many experiments, many mistakes, and obstacles, but it kept me advancing and oddly hopeful. And now, many books later, I remain dedicated to that task. Like every person, I still need that sense of purpose to guide me, day in and day out. Each book I write has to feel like it's part of that destiny, like it was meant to happen. And this sense of purpose I've had for my whole life that became so much clearer 25 years ago is what I believe has guided me through all the hard moments in my life. And I think it could do that for anybody, once you sense it within you, once you search for it. The real lesson here is that it took me a long time to get there, with many twists and turns. And so, it can come even later in life, in your 30s or 40s, or beyond. But my existence forever changed the moment I embraced my life's task.